I was in a relationship with someone who had a diagnosed cluster B personality disorder for just over 10 years. It was like living in hell, especially because her mother was also diagnosed as a narcissist. I had no idea what personality disorders were going into things. Now I feel like I have studied them so much just to understand my own life and experiences. I barely made it out of the relationship with my life intact. There were close calls several times. About 4 years into the relationship, I found out about the personality disorder diagnosis when asking her to get counseling. I also found out she had an expunged felony around that time and had given one of her previous partners permanent brain damage by beating them over the head with a lamp repeatedly. By that time, I was so deeply ingrained into everything and so psychologically and emotionally manipulated that it took the remaining 6 years for me just to break free. During the years of me trying to leave, I'd been pinned down and attempted to be strangled, had a loaded gun pointed at me, fought to get knives out of her hand, repeatedly dealt with her attempting suicide if I ever hinted at leaving, had her leave repeatedly and return without warning, been stonewalled, gaslit, and threatened numerous times near the end of the relationship. Then after it ended, I was triangulated, threatened numerous times by her and other people around her, and just general insanity. But to top it all off, before my marriage ever ended, I was being pursued by a woman who pretended to be my friend to help me through my divorce. I didn't realize it at the time, but she was several magnitudes more vile than my ex-wife was, and that woman also nearly ended my life with her intense manipulation. I suspect now, after having to spend so much time researching cluster B personality disorders, and after discussing it with someone who is a professional but clearly did not give an official diagnosis, that she likely had ASPD. This woman actually got in touch with my ex-wife, and they formed some kind of weird cluster B pact. I'm kind of making light of it because I know it sounds unreal. I want to take a moment to highlight how important it is to stay single if you are getting out of a toxic situation. The chances of another dangerous person latching onto you are extremely high during this time, and they will likely be worse than the previous one because you will be so vulnerable. I am hesitant to even share stuff like this, but I felt it was time for me to. I get so tired of hearing these. If he has crazy exes, he is the problem trope from people. I was the problem, but only because I wasn't standing up for myself and protecting myself from dangerous people. If I had at any point gotten into a relationship with someone who was truly good to me, I would have been fine. The problem is, toxic people will jump on any chance to get with someone they see is vulnerable or susceptible to their manipulative crap, and good people steer clear of them. If you're finding these stories interesting, don't forget to hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on new content. So, I'm not going to let the peanut gallery dictate whether or not I share my story with other people, but I did want to highlight how damaging rhetoric like that can be to people who have been through hell. I'm not really coming here looking for advice, but I am here to share and answer any questions anyone might have. I feel like since I went through all of this, if I can help even one other person avoid having to experience what I did, then it may give me a reason for having gone through it. I now have a very, very keen ability to spot people with personality disorders or toxic issues and to know when I am being gaslit or manipulated. I also had some time working around people who had PDs afterwards in a correctional setting. I've been around some truly demented people in my life and learned some very hard lessons. Yet somehow, I'm still here to talk about it. In fact, one of those people I was attacked by is now spending consecutive life sentences in a maximum security prison due to what they did. I've been drugged through the dirt, manipulated, threatened, had multiple people try to kill me, abuse me, been betrayed repeatedly by those closest to me, etc. So, if you ever want to know the real deal about manipulation, I might know a thing or two. I'm definitely not speaking from a place of inexperience.